My name is Bruce Grubbs, and I'm a lifelong hiker, backpacker, photographer, climber, and I'm also a commercial pilot. I fly air tours over the Grand Canyon and other places through the Southwest. Like most pilots, I've worked for different companies over the years. I'm currently working for Westwind Air Service, which is based out of Phoenix Deer Valley Airport. I have to say they're one of the funnest companies I've worked for. I actually train pilots now as assistant chief pilot, and so I'm part of management, but I still like flying the most. I'd rather be in the air flying tours. No slam on any of the people I work for. It's a great company, but we have a lot of variety, and I think that's the thing I like about Westwind. We fly out of 4 different airports. Phoenix Deer Valley, which serves the Scottsdale resort market, especially in the winter. We also fly out of Sedona year-round, and then in the summer 3/4 of the year, up till right about now, we also fly tours out of Grand Canyon and Page. So we fly out of Deer Valley, we fly up the Verde River Canyon, over Sedona, we fly out to the west rim of the Grand Canyon, where the skywalk is. We fly to the south rim. You can do a combination tour there where you not only fly over the canyon, but you do a ground tour with Pink Jeep Tours. And we also do air tours out of the canyon. So if you're already up there, we can take you on an air tour over the canyon itself. We're one of only 2 companies now that are allowed to fly air tours over the Eastern Canyon. And then we also fly tours out of Page over Lake Powell, which is spectacular in a completely different way than the Grand Canyon. And saving the best for last, my favorite tour is what we call a Monument Valley Triangle. So we fly you from either Grand Canyon or Page over to Monument Valley, and then you get to do an 1.5 to 2.5 hour ground tour with a Navajo guide who takes you back into parts of Monument Valley that you can't drive back into on your own without a special permit. And then we fly you down Lake Powell, Rainbow Bridge, and depending on the exact tour, we either stop at Page or we take you back to the Grand Canyon. And you can do that either direction, but the amount that you get to see on that flight, Grand Canyon, Monument Valley, Lake Powell, Rainbow Bridge, is just spectacular. So that's by far my favorite tour of all the ones we do.
That's fantastic. All right. And do you have a favorite hike in the Grand Canyon?
Oh, if it's an on-trail hike, I would have to say probably the Tanner Trail, which is the easternmost trail off the South Rim. It starts just west of Desert View from Lippin Point. Much of the trail, especially the lower parts, on a ridge, so you get just tremendous views. Plus, the geology in the Eastern Grand Canyon is really unique within the entire almost 300-mile length of the Grand Canyon. It's really a colorful section of the canyon. So I hate to be pinned down like anybody else, but on trail, I would have to say probably the Tanner Trail.
And one of the neat things from your presentation was all the different canyons within the canyons. And I think there's a tendency for most people to know of the Grand Canyon from the South Rim, from El Tovar, through that kind of area. But your presentation showed all the different places, the complexities of the canyon. Can you talk about that at all?
Well, as a lot of hikers refer to hiking in the Grand Canyon as hiking in the upside-down mountain range, because once you're down in it, from a lot of places you actually can't see either the North or South Rim. You're just down in this complex maze of canyons, and you might as well be in the Alps or the Rockies or someplace. So it actually is a mountain range contained down below the rims. And there's just uncounted side canyons, little side canyons that in turn lead into larger side canyons, and eventually down to the Colorado River, which sounds, okay, that's easy. If I need to get to the river, I'll just hike down this canyon. But then you come to a 600-foot waterfall. So most of the canyons don't go through from rim to river. So you end up actually hiking at mid-levels on the terraces formed by softer rocks like the Tonto Plateau and that you see in the Eastern Canyon. When you look off the rim at El Tovar, you see a broad plateau about 3,500 feet below the rim, and a lot of hiking along the canyon takes place on terraces like that. So it's a very interesting route finding, to say the least. The cliffs really control where you can go.
And but it's worth exploring if you just don't want to do the South Rim area.
Definitely. You want to take baby steps because unlike hiking in the mountains, the hard part comes at the end. You hike down the trail, and then you got to turn around in the warmest part of the day and walk out. So even if you're an experienced hiker and in mountains and especially cooler country, you want to take it easy on your first trips into the canyon. Like one that I recommend is hiking down the South Kaibab Trail to a place called O'Neill Butte, which gets you about a quarter of the way into the canyon, deep enough to really get a feel for being in the canyon, but not so far down that you're going to find out that getting out is really hard.
Great. Well, thanks so much for visiting Sibley's and sharing your knowledge.
Thank you, John. My pleasure.